Welcome to Livingston, our podcast where we invite local businesses, people, and organizations to talk about what they are giving to our community.
As real estate professionals with the Putkela Group, we bring valuable insight into the local market and community every week.
Thanks for listening, and welcome to Livingston. Hello, and welcome everybody to another episode of the Welcome to Livingston podcast. My name is Don Putkela.
And I'm Angela Putkela, and we're with the Putkela Group Real Estate Professionals. And our podcast, Welcome to Livingston, has been powered by Jim Paquette at Lake Michigan Credit Union.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we are just so excited about our episode today. We have Reaching Higher in with us. We have Susie Dahlman, the founder, and Steve Livingaway, the director of Reaching Higher for Youth. So thank you guys so much for coming in today.
Thanks for the opportunity. Yeah, we're excited.
Now, our podcast usually focuses on a lot of the small businesses, but just real recently we had Work Skills on, and now we have you guys, and that kind of points out what great nonprofits we have right here in our county. And you guys are just doing such great work in our community, and we want to know a little bit more. So who wants to explain what Reaching Higher is and what it's doing here in our community?
Well, Reaching Higher is a leadership course that helps students reach their full potential. So we give them life skills. It's called like a tool belt for life. So we're excited to see, the students leave skipping out of the classroom and feeling like they have more hope. So we really, give them the hope to know that they can reach their full potential.
And that is so great that you guys are able to go into these classrooms, go into these, group settings with kids and really just able to lift them up. Because I know that's such a thing that's needed. And for you guys to be doing that. So how long has Reaching Higher been around? 28
years.
Wow.
Yeah, 28 years. It was actually, I had a closed head injury. I taught second grade for 25 years. It was the love of my life. And I was driving down the road and a semi-truck pulled in front of my car. And so I went through the windshield, and after that, I was told that I was severely brain damaged. So after that, I started to really take good care of myself and meditate. And so I actually did a month in India with Deepak Chopra.
Oh, my gosh, wow.
My friend that was helping me with Reaching Higher, Linda Hannaford, back then, she was a meditation teacher through him. So I came back from being there with him for a month, and I decided I was going to meditate for 2 hours a day for a year. And it was after that year, the next summer, that I laid back I was laying in the sun because I'm a sun worshiper. I love the sun. I laid back in the sun, and I saw a hand go up to heaven and said, "Higher, reaching higher, bring God's love to the children."
Wow, that's beautiful. I love that, Susie.
Yeah, so it's a God thing, and I feel blessed to be chosen after all these years.
Doing such great work, to have started something so amazing and still be involved here that long later. You already had one career that was amazing, and now a whole different chapter as well.
Yeah, I came back after that vision and sat in actually Pine Creek. My friend lived there, and we sat in her living room, and I was a Dale Carnegie teacher for a long time. We brainstormed things that would help, kids reach their full potential. So that's kind of how it got birthed.
Wow.
Nice.
That's wonderful. Mm-hmm. So for the kids, what does this look like for, you come into a school, you're sitting down with them. What does it look like for the ones that are involved in it?
I'll answer that one.
Yeah, go ahead, Steve.
So I'm a retired principal. I was principal for 20 years, and Susie got me teaching it at my school. And what you do is 25 kids that are a cross-section. So you have kids that are struggling, kids that are doing fine, and kids in the middle that maybe don't get a lot of attention. You meet 2 hours a week. We have 2 instructors and 5 mentors. So every week there's a group lesson. For example, just today, this morning, it was on setting goals. So there's a video, a guest speaker to drive home the point. What do leaders do? What do successful people do to really reach the goals and have the life that they want? And then there's time for the students to meet in the small group with their mentor. And the mentor shares, vulnerably things that they've gone through. How have they reached their goals? How have they overcome their fears? And then there's a time where the students come back and there's a group share with all 25. So that happens, different theme each week, but that happens over 8 weeks, 2 hours a week, and then a graduation.
Wow.
And the power is that each of the kids have the time to share. They each have 2 minutes to share. And they actually teach one another. Because when they speak their truth and they become vulnerable because it's confidential, it's powerful to see how those kids walk out, being really connected to one another.
Wow.
That's why we have that cross-section.
Yeah.
So the student, you maybe have a 9th grader. We do this from grades 5 through 12.
Okay, I was going to ask about that. Right.
So maybe you have a 9th grader in there who's feeling not so successful, and you have a senior in there who's captain of the football team. They can make a bond because maybe they're going through a similar limiting belief or a similar fear, or they have a similar goal. So they make these connections, including with the adults, to know we all go through the same stuff.
Right.
It's so powerful, just the fact that they can share with one another and be vulnerable and know that it's confidential and safe.
Yeah, absolutely. And for the students, I'm sure they speak each other's language in a lot of ways. So it really offers a deeper credibility to have not just these adults that have gone through things, but the students themselves.
I know. It's amazing what comes out. And the mentors, too, are really, a special part of it. It's a confidential setting, I think, that helps people to thrive forward.
Right.
Right.
And I had it for later on down the road here, but I'm kind of interested to find out who are the mentors, and I assume volunteer people?
Volunteers from the community, and so we've had lots of mentors, and a lot of them love doing it. So they, are engaged, quite a few times, right?
So
a lot of them.
The class I was in this morning, we had the school resource officer from the school was one of the mentors. Local financial planner who's helped sponsor the class, he was one of the mentors. One of the coaches that's at the high school came, he's a mentor. Mm-hmm. We have just a community member who, not really affiliated with the school, but she comes in as a mentor. So it's anyone who wants to help kids.
That is amazing. I'm sure with having done it for so many years, you guys have seen such changes in the schools and the types of problems that the kids are dealing with because, you guys, how many years did you say? 20?
It's 28. Actually, a girl that was in my very first class, and I started in the inner city of Detroit.
Okay.
Back in the day, I wanted to save the world. And anyway, Tricia, she ended up calling. She saw an article about reaching higher, and she called us. This is just this last year. And she had been in my very first class. And she said, is this reaching higher? And we said yes. And anyway, she said, I talked to her. I called her. Steve, told me that she called, and I called her back. And I said, tell me what you're doing now. And she said, I said, are you married? She said, no. And I said, does your mom help you? She said, no. She has 3 kids. But she said the only thing that kept her going, and she showed us a picture of the picture she had from her first Reaching Higher class.
Wow.
She says the only thing that's kept me going and my 3 kids going is Reaching Higher. Wow. That's 28 years ago. So
That's
she's
so
coming
powerful.
she's coming to the gala, which gives me goosebumps.
Oh.
Wow.
Yeah.
We
Steve helped me with
we
that
have
one.
had students share that, this gave them the hope to live. We've had students that were actually, thinking of harming themselves. Wow. This gave them that self-worth. I mean, our first lesson is you're a miracle, you have value. Nothing can change that, no matter what you go through. So it can be life-changing. I've seen students from that end, but also some of the maybe higher achieving students that feel they have to be perfect.
Right.
One mistake and it's all over with, and their value, is only as good as their last achievement. So they all the students leave this class with the idea that you're perfect the way you are. You can set goals and achieve them if you're willing to work hard, but nothing is going to diminish your value. You have value just by being you.
Right. And I mean, youth is so hard for kids anyway with, when you guys started out, you didn't have the social media aspect of the bullying and everything that happens there. But so many kids, they don't realize that other people are dealing with the exact same problems they have.
I know we all find out how much we're alike instead of how much we're different.
And one of our lessons is making positive life choices. And we talk about taking the power to pause. And we'll bring out this thing and say, you can send out something in an instant that can negatively impact you, and just pause and think it over. And we didn't have that when we were growing up. Now you can put something out there that can derail your whole life, and you can't take it back.
In an instant.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Well said, Steve. We were at South Lyon High School, and a girl came in the classroom, beautiful girl, high-level student, and she had just lost her brother had committed suicide. And so she came into the classroom. It was real hard for her at first, but she's become one of our spokespersons over the years. And this was like 15 years later. She was in actually Grand Rapids. She had a great job and everything. And she came back because her dad passed away. So she had these different episodes in her life, but she hooked back to Reaching Higher, which we're grateful for, for that longevity. And she's actually going to come to our gala. She's going to be there.
And she's mentoring in one of our classes at Royal Oak High School right now.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah. So they stay, with us, which is great.
Yeah. Comes full circle, right? And they understand the value of paying it forward.
Right. And I wanted to, you've mentioned the gala a couple times, so I wanted to talk about that in a second. But before we do that, I just wanted to take a second to acknowledge our sponsor, Jim Paquette with Lake Michigan Credit Union. Just a great resource, and we're just very, happy that he partners with us and helps make this possible. Today's episode of the Welcome to Livingston podcast is brought to you by our valued sponsor, Jim Paquette with Lake Michigan Credit Union. He is a trusted mortgage lender who has lived and worked in our community for many years. Jim Paquette is dedicated to helping our neighbors achieve their homeownership dreams and is proud to support the local businesses that make our area special. Now let's dive back into the stories of the incredible entrepreneurs we are featuring today. You guys do have a gala coming up. I know you do one every year. So can you tell us a little bit about
coming
that?
up fast for this year, but it's something you guys do have every year, right?
We do.
Every year, usually in the fall, always in the fall. It's our annual gala. It's November 8th. It's at Crystal Garden right here in Howell. It starts at 6 p.m. We still are looking for people to buy tickets to attend. It's going to be awesome. This year is called A Night in Venice, so it's got that Venice theme, wear red and black and masks. But we're going to be honoring some of our instructors, our mentor of the year, our instructor of the year, our advocate of the year, who has just helped support what we do. We're going to have Tricia, who was there 28 years ago or 27 years ago. So it's going to be a celebration, but also fun, but also raising funds to keep reaching higher in all the schools that we're at here in Livingston County.
And actually, two people that we know in Florida are coming up, and they met each other on Broadway, and they're amazing Broadway singers, and they're going to be performing, which is going to be very, very special.
And our MC is Lila Lazarus. You might know from her career as a journalist, TV journalist.
Okay.
So she's involved. She's involved with our adult program as an instructor, and she's going to be hosting the event.
Oh, wonderful.
It's going to be really fun.
Yes, and that's
That
coming
is
up
great.
fast. So everybody, mark it in your calendars. Come on out for a great night and a wonderful cause. So to repeat that just for anybody listening, Saturday, November 8th, 2025, from 6 to 11 p.m., Crystal Gardens, is this whole night in Venice.
Yep, and there'll be information in the show notes about how to get tickets as well. So
Yeah,
that is great. And I heard you mention, I know that your focus, the big one is the youth program and being in the schools and just really pulling those kids up. But you mentioned the adult program, and I know that you have a corporate program as well because I was on your website. Do you guys want to speak for a second on either of those?
Sure. So we have an adult program. It's called Reaching Higher for Pros. It's really modeled on the same pillars that we do in our youth program. But the message in Reaching Higher is everyone, this is for everyone. This is for leaders, proven leaders. This is for people that maybe are struggling a little bit. This is adults. This is youth. Everyone needs this type of message that it's up to you. If you work hard, you can have the life of your dreams. And so, and we also, Susie's been trained as she's now a certified life coach.
Yeah.
So we'll go in, some of the corporations that we partner with, some of the companies, they want their people to go through the same type of coaching and training that we do with the youth so that they can be the best employee that they can be.
Right.
Yeah, it's a really, Kennedy Industries has been a really great, support for us, and we've been there for a long time. So
And CSM Mechanical.
yeah.
There's a few that really, and they'll encourage their employees to be mentors in our program.
Nice.
And they're building better humans that now will be better employees.
That's
Right.
great.
Yeah, it's
And
that intrinsic value.
And it's just such a great message, regardless of age, regardless of where you are in life, that everyone needs a moment sometimes to just, to get built back up and to realize the value that they bring to other people.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why I say it's called reaching higher. You may have a different reason, but wherever you're at in your life, what's your next step?
Right.
Maybe you're the president of the company. What's next? Is it in your relationship? Is it in your personal life? Is there a personal goal? Wherever you are at, there's always the next step that you can be even better.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, that growth mindset that I think is so critical
Exactly.
just to not just in terms of success, but satisfaction in life, I think.
And the good thing is that this program, inside we're all the same age. Coming together in a setting where there's like-minded people, where we're all trying to be better, and being with one another, we teach one another. And
Right.
sometimes we don't take the time to do that anymore.
Yeah.
Right.
Things are so
Too busy.
It's not the one-on-one personal, relationship where people get to speak their truth and share their hearts.
Can I add to that? I was in the public schools for 32 years. We used to have a little more time for that stuff. And as the curriculum got a little more heavy and the standards and the testing, there was a little bit less and less time every year just for what Susie was saying, just talking to your students,
Right.
finding out, how are they doing? And we can fill that need because it's needed now more than ever. I mean, every student just craves that time, that attention, just to get to know who they are as a person.
Right.
Yeah, and Steve, one time he had me come in and just do the positive life choice session for his employees, and they left with, they felt it's powerful, just even one little session,
Wow.
So I think that going forward, we have to remember how important the one-on-one relationship is with people and being eye to eye, heart to heart.
Right. That connection.
Yeah,
Like
it's
the
called
human
connection.
connection.
Absolutely. And I think it's, with all the social media and the iPhones and all the everything,
Yeah.
we lose that.
Right.
I think people
not the same.
thrive on it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That's why in person.
That's right. Yeah,
You know?
like last night. We
Yeah.
had so
Yeah.
much fun.
Yeah. So I was going to ask also, how many schools are you guys in?
Right now, we're in about 18 schools this semester.
Okay.
And by the way, we're affiliated with a couple churches that do our program, but mostly in schools. And it varies a little bit semester to semester, but we're in Heartland, Howell, Brighton, Pinckney, Fowlerville, Detroit, Royal Oak, South Lyon, Bedford. We have a class in Florida. So it's really very well known here in Livingston County, but we really have gone beyond.
Okay.
Yeah, that's, we have teacher trainings where we train the teachers, and then they can go to the different, so in Bedford, they can run their program now themselves, and we can
nice.
just peek in. And we're excited about launching out of state because when I had the vision, I thought it going everywhere. It just was
Yeah.
like sprinkling happy dust on every place. And so, going to Florida is we just launched those 2 programs down there, so it's
How
exciting.
exciting.
Yeah.
Exciting.
Yeah.
So how do the kids themselves apply to be in it? Do the teachers say, this kid would be good? How does that work?
So I just want to say that we wouldn't even be here without Susie. I wouldn't be here. She came to my office 15 years ago and said, "Will you bring this to your school?" And I said, "No, I'm already busy."
I had to convince them.
But,
Wow.
And then she said, "Why don't you teach it?" And I just fell in love with this. So the way it works, ideally, every school has their own little flavor, but get recommendations from the teachers. And we let them know we are looking for this cross section. We don't want only kids that maybe you think are struggling or only kids that are getting all A's and you think are perfect. We want everyone. So we get those recommendations from teachers, and then there's usually a school champion, a counselor, a principal, somebody there who's our contact then who will go through that list and invite the students. We usually try to have a class about 25 or maybe a little bit less so that we have that connection in there. So that's really how it's done. Recommendations. Some of the schools we've been at for years and years and years, and there's like a waiting list of people wanting to get in.
Got you.
That's
Gotcha.
exciting.
Yeah.
That is so
Makes a
exciting.
difference.
Yeah.
And then in terms of for high school, is it a pretty good cross section in between the
Yeah.
younger grades and older, and giving them a chance to kind of mix?
Typically, yeah. So typically, some schools, it's up to them. Maybe they want to do all, I've never seen this yet, but maybe they want all their freshmen to go through.
Yeah.
But typically, it's that cross section of different. I had a class at Brighton High School. There was the valedictorian senior football star, and there was a ninth grade newer boy that was not feeling very, very accomplished. They had a connection that lasted after the class, where they stayed in touch because they realized they had a lot in common. They never would have probably even spoken to each other normal day of high school of a senior and a freshman.
Right.
So typically it's that mix that really makes it powerful.
I remember Howell High School where there was a girl that came in and she had a hood on and she wouldn't look out. She had the hood on, and we just let her be there, and just be part of the energy of the class.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until like the fifth or sixth session that she started to peek out and just take her hood off. And then at the end, she came up on, we do a stumping exercise, with our one of our classes. She came up and she volunteered to come up and stand on the stump. And so, look at how she just over the time, organically took her time. Mm-hmm. And she ended up reaching her, it was really a positive thing.
It was exactly what you were saying about mindset.
Yeah.
So you see the kids go from this fixed mindset, I can't do it, I'm not good enough, she's better than me, to by the end realizing the truth, which is you can do what you put your mind to if it's important to you and you're willing to work at it. And so that shift happens over the 8 weeks, and they begin these new way of thinking and a new habits of action. Yeah. And they really make a big change if they want to.
Yeah. And we bring in guest speakers also.
Oh, nice.
People from the community that have had, things happen. I mean, you look at somebody that's really successful and you think, wow, whatever happened to them?
Yeah.
But when they tell their story, it's just like, wow, if they did that, then I can do this.
Yeah.
Right. Because so many people, they see what they see from our person on the outside, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So they don't understand the story behind that or where they came from, to say like, oh, they came all the way from here and built themselves up. I'm here. Mm-hmm. So now I can see a path towards where I can build myself up as well. So it's just so wonderful that you guys are able to bring that to that.
Just
this
morning,
fun.
This morning in the class I was in, we shared the quote from Michael Jordan. I mean, he was cut from his high school basketball team. And
It's crazy when you think about it.
I know, that's right.
But instead of giving up and quitting, he worked 10 times harder, got back on the team, and most of us know, to me, the greatest basketball player ever.
Right.
So that's the message we're giving the kids. Failure is not the end of the story. It's part of success.
Right.
It's giving up that ends the story. As long as you're in there in the arena trying, you can do what you set your mind to.
Yeah, so powerful. You guys got to come and mentor.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, you guys would be so
Absolutely.
good.
Oh, it'd be
you'd
so
be
much
great.
fun.
So would you?
Because I do see in kids today, there's this, and I don't know if it comes from the social media or just the culture of things, this need to feel perfect and that everything is right. And, I know with our kids, if they've had obstacles, working with them to understand of how you can launch yourself and how it makes you better for what you go through.
Absolutely. And you're not the only one.
Right.
Yeah.
They share in that class, what, gosh, he went through that. He looks really great.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like anything ever happened to him, and so it's so great to intimately share on a level where we can all help to make each other better and stronger. Together we can do more.
Right. Yes. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
So before I was in real estate, I taught high school.
Oh,
so
did you?
I actually taught at the Bridge.
Oh, did you really? Okay, we
Our
had
school.
yeah.
We had a
Colleen had our program there.
Yeah,
for a long time.
I know Colleen. Yeah. But I was there when they opened up. So, but one of the interesting things I have found, because I worked in alternative high schools for a while,
That's great.
is that kids somehow they feel trapped by the image that other people see them, right? And when you get to know them, you realize there's so much more than that. And it's so sad sometimes that they feel trapped by what other people think, and they don't feel like they can be themselves.
That's right.
Right. And there's an opportunity to grow there. So it's just, as I said before, we love positivity. We love mindset. We read a lot of those type of books and everything. We've gone to Tony Robbins and done that. So
and I've done Dale Carnegie.
I
Just see such shades
I did
of Dale
Tony
Carnegie in
Robbins
this.
too. Did you do the fire walk?
Yes, twice.
We've done that twice.
Yeah.
But there's just so much positivity out there, and there's so much that people can glean from that and learn. And just, anything we can do to just support your cause and push that idea out there, because I think it is something powerful that you're bringing to people.
Thank you.
We love it. We love what we do.
I started in alternative ed also way back when I was in Redford Union. And I noticed the same thing. The kids there were no different from the kids anywhere.
Right.
But their self-image had taken a little bit of a beating, because they weren't successful at the typical school where they were at.
Right.
So I love what you said, and it's just so true. And I think it's even harder today, to your point, because everything on social media, looks perfect with filters, and everything's, everything's wonderful. And that's our message, is just you're okay the way you are, and you can get better if you decide to. You can make that choice, and you can respond. This isn't just happening to you.
Right.
You have a choice on how you're going to deal with this.
Right.
And the authenticity you guys bring to these kids and even the adults involved, because there's not enough authenticity in the world today.
That's true.
Right.
We don't make time for it. I think everything moves so fast now, Yeah. We have the mentors often send out postcards and things to the kids too, and they get mail, which is great. And the parents talk about how they have all the postcards up on the refrigerator, and it's a family thing too. The parents get involved, and then the graduation is really powerful.
I've heard that's a very big deal, because I've known people whose kids have gone through and how they would talk about it, and just, it's the graduation, it's coming up, and it's just really a powerful thing.
The mentor that's mentored them through the the program, that they make a special quote, and they give the kids a special quote for the graduation, and it's very, very special. It's fun.
I wanted to comment on what you said about authentic.
Yes.
Because I think this is a real special part. When a kid, and probably the adults, in a normal school day, you have an image.
Yes.
You're not really able to just be totally real, because you might get put down. You might get judged. You might get laughed at. You might be left out of the group. And so we create a space with the adults and the students that you get to just be real. If someone says, "How you doing?" you don't have to say fine. You can say, "Actually, this is what's going on, and I want to make a goal to make this better, and here's what I'm going to do about it." Yeah. And if you can't even have that conversation, it's really hard to go through school and just be fake and not be able to have that conversation with anyone and realize that you are connected. Everyone goes through the same types of things.
Ups and downs.
Yes.
And you can't appreciate the ups without those downs. It's human nature to be up and down. And I think it really is what you're talking about, that it's this sort of phony thing that, kids really deserve this opportunity just to be real.
Most of our graduations, there'll be at least 3 or 4 parents that'll say, "I wish I had this."
Yeah,
when I was young. Because
I know.
The adults, we
They
deal
can go
with
through
this,
the adults.
we deal with the same stuff.
That's true. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. No, the whole Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, people think that everyone else's life is perfect because, as you said, the filters, right?
Right.
But they don't realize they're all going through some of the same things, and you don't have to be fake.
That's right.
It's okay to open up to other people. In fact, it's good to open up to other people, because then you find a common ground with that person.
Absolutely.
And you're not alone anymore.
Yeah,
absolutely. And it takes a lot of energy to go around being fake.
Right.
To have that mask on.
Yeah.
One of the lessons Susie has is about the mask. We go around with the mask on, and she calls it a paintbrush. You know, you have this fake painting on, you know, the fake smile. And it feels really great to take that paint coat off, take that mask off, and just be who you are.
Yeah.
Absolutely, so powerful,
Love
right?
that. Yeah.
You were smart in these lessons you created.
Well, you know,
Well,
you know what? I just kept, like, there's a great, in Chicken Soup of the Soul,
Oh,
there's a
yeah.
whole poem about the paintbrush and taking the paintbrush off.
Yeah.
And there's a girl in my class in Milford High School, and she said that, this is in the middle of the class, she said that she had a note next to her bed that it said every day she got up, she looked at this note, and it says, "I'm a loser."
Oh my gosh.
And she shared that finally, like in one of the later sessions, and I just wanted to cry. You know, I'm a loser. Are you kidding? So at the end of the session, at the end of graduation, she told us all that she took that down and put, "I'm a winner."
Oh my gosh.
I mean, it gives me goosebumps now to talk about it. I still get tears in my eyes because, you know what? What a shift in consciousness for her, knowing that we all have value. You know, that we're all the same inside. Doesn't matter what age we are.
Yes, exactly. I love it. And that you've created this, Susie. I mean, this is just remarkable because this is something that should be nationwide. It just is doing such.
Maybe not my
things.
lifetime, but maybe in yours. But, you know, I just feel so honored that God chose me to do that, you know, because I had such, you know, the accident and what I went through and you know, it just is, it's a blessing to be able to see it grow and, you know, touch so many people.
Yeah.
You know, it took a long time.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, it was a
That's
lot of
okay.
years before, you know.
One foot after the next.
Yeah.
Now, how many students have been through?
We have, at this point, about 14,000 youth have gone through the program.
Wow.
That's not counting
That
adults.
doesn't include each one of these kids that go through the program. They're impacting 5-6 other people.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? We know how that works at school and their families. So thousands of kids and their families, not to mention the mentors and the instructors, and everyone has been impacted all because of Susie and this idea that she had on that lake in meditating. None of it would have happened.
Right.
And
I feel like, you know, I feel like just that I'm blessed that I've had this path.
I think
You know, and it's
we're
given
all
me,
blessed.
yeah, it's such a
at your path.
blessing in my life. And so, you know, I just feel like, you know, I feel privileged, I guess is what I would say,
Right.
Yeah.
to have been chosen to do such a special thing. And I think that it'll be forever. I think it'll go on forever and ever because it's so good and it does so much good for so many.
Pay it forward and just blessings to everyone it touches.
Yeah, and I
right?
wanted to say that my husband actually, when I first started, you know, I had it was my 50th birthday, and anyway, he had a 50th birthday surprise birthday party for me, and we raised $3,000. That's how we started.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
and we
amazing.
rented. And if you look right off of Grand River, there's a little street called Hope Street. So we rented a little loft on Hope Street, and that's where we started. And I sat at my desk, and I had not one person to call.
Oh my goodness.
hope, that's so appropriate, isn't
Yeah,
it?
that's
Yeah.
right. Helping other people excel.
Oh my goodness. There you
Yeah,
go.
wow.
Yeah, so.
It must be amazing in the schools to see the cascade effect after Reaching Higher comes through, because I'm sure those kids come out of that. And like you said, they each are impacting other people because now they have a different lens that they're looking at life through. And that's got to affect everyone else in the student population.
Absolutely. This is why I fell in love with Reaching Higher as a principal when I was teaching it at my school. Instead of attacking the symptoms, oh, you're not doing your homework, we're going to send you over here, or you have a detention, or you're in trouble, or you're not coming to school. This got to the root cause of, you know, a student wanting to do better, wanting to do their best, having that mindset again that, you know what, maybe math's not my easiest, but if I work hard at math, I know I can improve, just like I did in hockey or just like I did in art, right? And so these students now, their grades start getting better. They have a school goal they set during our class, a relationship goal, a personal goal. their grades start getting better, their attendance is better, their behavior is better. And I want to point out, there's also students in there that are doing really well already. We have that cross-section. You know, their grades are good, they're involved. But they have, I think one of you said, that feeling like I got to be perfect, or one little slip
They
up.
can't be
and,
authentic.
You know, a lot of anxiety or a lot of stress that they're dealing with.
Yeah.
So it's for all these kids. And so they have a different mindset also of, you know, I have value even if I messed up on my last test. That's not the end of the world.
Right. No.
Yeah.
So when I went to see Steve, he said no to me 3 times.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Why do you gotta bring that up?
No. But look and now he works with us, and I'm so lucky to have him. And you know, we have all great people. But you know,
Right.
yeah. So look at you, buddy.
Thanks for being persistent.
Yeah.
And by eventually saying yes, now that's something in that Heartland school that all those students will be able to benefit from.
I was just there this morning helping out the class, and in the class is one of my former students who's now a teacher.
Wow.
Isn't that something?
That's amazing.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
Another student in the Reaching Higher class, I had his dad and his uncle as students.
Wow.
And it just makes me feel blessed, just like you said, that to still be part of this and still be part of my old school and still helping kids.
Right.
Purpose.
Purpose.
You guys have
Purpose.
found such a remarkable
Thank you.
purpose.
Right.
Yeah, I think the purpose in life is what keeps you going forward,
Yes,
right? And it's what makes you
absolutely.
happy.
Yeah.
I leaped out of bed every day.
Yes.
Teaching,
Excited
reaching,
to go.
and that's why I still want to be involved, even though I'm getting older. They still let me be.
She still teaches and does the training, and
Yeah.
she is our heart and our inspiration, you know, and it won't be the same if you're not still involved with things.
I'll be here as long as my head's above ground.
And I met Ann last night, and it sounded like she's been with you guys for 15 years.
A
and
long
she
time.
has such personality and such passion, and she's doing a ton for this night in Venice. And so
She
it was
is.
nice.
I'm
to
meeting
have
her
met
right after
too.
this. Actually, she's the wind beneath our wings. Anne is just a party ready to happen, and she is like she'll make everything happen. It used to be just her and I in the office, back in the day, but she was the one beating my wings, so we've been together a long time.
Wow.
She's a great gal, and this is going to be a wonderful event.
Right.
Yeah.
And I know you guys do a golf outing as well, right?
Yeah, we just had it at Oak Point.
Okay.
I golfed.
Well, that's
There you
good.
go.
Yes.
So that's something that someone could support you guys through as well, right?
Yeah.
Correct. So usually each year is the golf outing. This year we had it a little more in the fall. I think last time was in the summer, but usually the golf outing and the annual gala. And people can also get involved just by helping to sponsor a class or becoming a mentor or just learning more about what we do, or even making a connection and say, hey, this should be at my school or my kid's school. Have you met anyone from Reaching Higher? I'd love for you to talk to them. So there's a lot of ways to get involved.
Wonderful.
Yeah, it's fun.
Awesome. Great. How can people find out more?
Several
Our
ways.
websites?
Yeah, reachinghigher.org is our website. We have a Facebook page, LinkedIn. I'm not on it, but I know we have Twitter, and I think it's X now, and Instagram. YouTube channel. We have a lot of videos every week. Troy and I do a Mission Monday and a Willing Wednesday, and it's just these themes. So just like what you're doing, trying to spread positivity. So there's just positive things that can help people.
Because the world needs that now more than ever.
Or you
it's-
can email me and I'll get back to you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
A lot of testimonies of kids on there.
Oh,
Which
that's
is
wonderful,
great.
too.
It just opens your heart.
Firsthand.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's nice.
Making a big difference.
Wonderful. Well, thank you guys so much for coming
Thank
today.
you.
We've loved talking to you and learning more about Reaching Higher, and hoping that people out there are just, enthused about it and just want to reach out and support you guys.
Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Yeah. Thank you so much for the opportunity. I think you both would be such great mentors.
Thank you.
too.
It
Why
has
don't
piqued
you
my
come to a
interest.
graduation?
Yeah.
I'll invite you and I'll meet
I'd
you
love
there. And then you can see the fruit of the.
That would
of the
be
course.
wonderful. We would
That
love
would-
that
Yeah.
because we get involved. I mean, as the boys were younger, Don was the head Cub master, and
Done a lot with
leadership
kids.
Oh yeah,
Cub
we were
Scouts and-
talking on the way here because I'm on the Livingston County Board of Realtors and I'm finishing my term, and I realized that this is going to be the first time since 2011 that I haven't been on a board.
Okay.
coming up. So, but it's good to always be involved.
Yeah.
You know, from the
Sure.
kids' sports and everything else. It's just we love giving back to the community and being involved, and just helping people and being a part of things.
Yeah, but I do feel like finding your passion is such an important
Yes,
thing,
it is.
And this podcast is really, it's kind of just more of a passion project for us since we're realtors for our job and whatnot. But
Right.
it's when you're passionate about something. My dad always said, if you love what you do, you'll never work another day in your life.
I
Yeah.
know, that's so true. And I've had that for all these years.
Yeah.
Aren't I
Yes.
lucky?
Yes,
Yes, you are.
absolutely.
Yeah. It'd be great to have you guys be part of Reaching Higher and be in the classroom.
Thanks. We'd really
Thank you.
like that.
Yeah.
So
and
we'll
thank you for
definitely stay
having
in
us
touch.
today.
Thank you.
Great.
Thank you.
Excited.
We hope everyone has learned some about Reaching Higher. I'm sure you've probably heard of it, but now to have just a better insight about what you guys are and what you're doing out there.
Yeah.
It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
So thank you guys so much. Please check out the episode, check out some of our other episodes, and come back for another listen next week.
Yep. In the show notes, all the details, including the event coming up. And if the event has passed by the time you listen to this, know that there'll be another gala the next year as well. So
Yep.
great. Thanks
Thanks
so much.
and
And welcome to Livingston.